Good afternoon, I'm Audra Krueger and I'm the Executive Director for Co-operatives First, and I'm pleased to talk to you today about co-ops and the work we're doing here in Western Canada. Every town needs to stand out to find something that helps cut through the clutter. For some, a gimmick works, like an international competition for the world's tallest moose. For others, representing an industry or tourist attraction is how they make a name for themselves. Today, I'd like to tour across the prairies and briefly explore how cooperatives are being used by 5 prairie communities to help find and capture their hometown advantage. From live theater and classic rock festival to HighSpeed Internet, a grain terminal, and short line rail, entrepreneurs throughout Western Canada have adapted the model to capture and share their community's unique attributes. First stop is Hamiota, Manitoba. Hamiota looks like many other places in Canada's friendliest province. Under an hour's drive from Brandon, this municipality is a bustling agricultural hub. But there's a lot more to this thriving community. To see Hamiota's difference, you have to dig a little deeper. Part of its success story is underground, where fiber optic cable brings some of the best internet in Canada. In today's increasingly connected world, fast internet is critical to economic well-being. Having slow or no internet means being left behind, and leaders in Hamiota don't intend to come up short. With the independence typical of prairie people, they figured out a way to bring fast internet to their region, and the internet is excellent. With a fiber optic connection, residents can achieve 1 gigabyte per second download speeds. That kind of advantage is significant.
Prior to the co-op or prior to fiber optic on a 3 o'clock on a Friday, the computers would just shut right down because across the division there's about 800 computers. If everybody's on there and you're cutting that 30 down to 800 now, there just is no connectivity, no bandwidth that's part of that. So we no longer see that part. A little bit of an issue is now online games work for the kids.
Next stop is Minnedosa, Manitoba. For many, music festivals are the crowning jewel of the summer. What's better than getting a group of friends together to go camping and listen to your favorite music? The Rock in the Fields of Minnedosa Music Festival is the result of a few local music lovers and a dream to bring a festival to their area. Run as a co-op, the festival has lit up this town for 1 weekend a year for the past few decades. The festival pulls in names like April Wine, Collective Soul, and Tom Cochrane. Of course, beyond the festival celebrations are the economic benefits a small town reaps from an influx of 10,000 visitors over a weekend. Beyond the financial benefits for local businesses are the town's brand exposure and reputation.
This festival gives a lot of people a connection to the town that maybe wouldn't come here otherwise. So it does generate a lot of tourism, not just in the weekend. Economically, it creates a large impact just through, the number of people that come here and the services and the amenities that are provided. As far as being 2,500 people and bringing in, potentially 10,000 people over the course of a weekend, that's huge, right?
We are not wealthy people. We're not investors. We're just your average music fan. And the cooperative allowed us to get some benefits that easier on the taxes for us, allowed us to be not privately making money on it. It's all going to be going back into the cooperative itself to make the festival bigger.
Our third stop is Rosthern, Saskatchewan. When people look for culture, they often look to the cities. But one small town in Saskatchewan challenges that norm. Rosthern, Saskatchewan is a short drive from both Saskatoon and Prince Albert, but draws people in with its art scene rather than the other way around. The Station Arts Centre, a beautifully renovated old train station, has become a home for the arts. From sold-out theatre productions to youth programs, workshops, and local artist exhibits, this station is a great stop to get a look at rural Saskatchewan's artistic side. The centre got its start in the 1980s when a group of artsy locals bought the building from CN Rail and renovated it. They raised the funds through memberships and preserved this historic building to have an ongoing cultural impact on the town. Today it remains a co-op which allows community members to get involved. The combination of attracting visitors and engaging local residents has made the town a destination and a fantastic place to raise a family.
We would consider ourselves as a bit of a cultural hub, a little oasis, if you will, on the prairies. It's a great spot to come and see top-notch big city entertainment, sometimes in a setting of a small town.
It certainly takes arts forward. We get, as you know, we get fantastic musical performers from across North America who bring a level of artistic performance which is comparable to anything you'll find in a big city.
Fourth on the list is Battle River region of Alberta. When CN threatened to close the short line railway between Camrose and Alliance, farmers were worried. They didn't want to drive their grain further to get it to market. Luckily, CN had to put the line up for sale before closing it, and locals saw an opportunity. A local farmer gathered producers together to discuss local options. They decided to raise money by selling shares to save the railroad. Thanks to 180 shareholders, the group raised almost $5 million, purchased the rail line, and created a new generation co-op called the Battle River Railway. With a locomotive, 50 rail cars, and permanent operating approval from Alberta Transport, the Battle River Railway runs cars of locally produced crops to the market using the rail line. Locals also created a spin-off organization that promotes tourism. Friends of the Battle River Railway takes people on train excursions up and down the line to see the local sites and to learn a bit of history. The mix of retained infrastructure and tourism is a powerful combination for the local economy.
We've been lucky to have enough people that have believed in what we're doing. Like they themselves are enthusiastic about what we're doing, and so they've come forth to help. And we believe that other folk who were maybe doubting Thomas's a little bit are starting to realize, hey, these guys are here, they want to do something. And we hope to continue this for a long time.
Last but certainly not least, we stop in Westlock, Alberta. We all know that quality infrastructure is critical for robust economic activity. It can be incredibly hard for rural communities to keep and maintain the things they need to attract large businesses. Westlock Terminals is an inspiring story of how this community rose to the occasion. Farmers in the Westlock region were affected when a major Canadian grain company decided to close the terminal. They formed a steering committee to find a private investor that could purchase the terminal, but the expensive upgrades required deterred potential buyers. In the end, local ownership through the cooperative model allowed farmers and business people to invest in and form Westlock Terminals in 2002. By 2012, the co-op raised additional capital through a second share offering and upgraded the terminals. As Westlock's mayor says, sometimes you got to get off your butt and do it yourself.
It's just a symptom of when people need something and want something, they make it happen. I think Albertans are entrepreneurial and not those that will sit around and wait for government or someone to do it for them. If you want to make your community a better place, then you get off your backside and you make it happen. And really, isn't that the essence of a cooperative? We need this service, so let's do it. That's how it works.